How's it, everyone? Welcome back to another hybrid string experiment review right here on OpenCourt. I'm Kent, and today I'm trying out a hybrid poly setup, which I've been trying to get this poly setup going for a while. It's not that I couldn't, I just had a whole backlog of other strings and things I wanted to review. So I finally found some time to try this poly setup. And some of you guys in the comments have actually said that this is one of your guys' favorite poly hybrids as well. I've been meaning to try this setup out, and I'm finally giving it a chance, and I know I'm gonna like it because it's two of my favorite polys. So the hybrid experiment we're trying today is the Head Lynx Tour and the Head Hawk Power. Let's check it out. Alright, so Head Lynx Tour and Head Hawk Power. I have reviewed both of these strings individually on my channel. I'll leave a link to both of the reviews for this in the description below. And avid viewers of this channel will know that Head Lynx Tour is my current favorite polyester string. This has been my favorite poly since they released it back in, I believe, 2019. Sometime around there, they came out with the Head Experimental Tour at the time. And it was in the champagne color. I tried it while it was still under that Experimental Tour name, and I really loved that crisp feel, the ball pocketing, power control spin. The Lynx Tour seemed to have really everything that I wanted out of a polyester string. And since then, they've expanded into other colors. They have a black, an orange, and a gray. And I'm actually testing the black version today because my tennis shop locally here didn't have the gray or the champagne, which I actually like. The deader, or the black, actually plays a little bit deader. However, it is still a relatively crisp and lively string. The Hawk Power, I was very pleasantly surprised with. I reviewed this on my channel, and this is also a very crisp and responsive string. This is a simple round poly. The Lynx Tour is six-sided, and this is round, but this plays very well. It gets great control, feel, and power. So I think the Lynx Tour and the Hawk Power both will complement my game because they both have that crisp and responsive feel for me to be able to hit my angles, my drop shots. My net game is very reliant on that crisp feel, as well as giving me the power to be able to pass my opponents and be able to hit through on my aggressive shots. The Hawk Power and Lynx Tour both have very good pocketing as well, so they give a decent amount of power. So the Lynx Tour is the shaped string, so I'm going to put this in the mains, and the Hawk Power is the slick round poly, so I'm going to put this in the cross. I got it strung up here in my new racket, the Speed Pro 2024 edition, the Auxetic 2.0. This is the Speed Legend, the all black Djokovic colorway. And as you can see, I got the black Lynx Tour in the mains. I strung it at 52. And I got the Hawk Power in the cross at 50. So recently I've been going same tension both, but I actually do prefer to keep the tension about 2 pounds lower in the crosses because that allows the mains to slide a little bit more to provide a little bit more snapback for spin. However, if you do go lower in the cross, it will increase the launch angle a little bit, so it's gonna go a little bit higher, but I'm not too worried about that with the Speed Pro specifically because this is an 18-20 string pattern. So if I'm using a more open pattern like a 16-19, I'll usually go same tension, but with the Speed Pro 18-20, I'm stringing 2 pounds lower. So the Lynx Tour Hawk Power combo, I've been meaning to try for a very long time. So I'm very excited to get it out on the court, and it's also in my favorite racket. So I'm super excited. So let's jump on the court. But before that, if you guys like this content and want to see more, be sure to overhead smash that like and subscribe button to keep the reviews coming. So let's start with the pros of this hybrid of two of my favorite head polys, the Lynx Tour and Hawk Power. First off, the biggest pro in my opinion, and the reason I decided to even put this hybrid together, was the feel. Both strings have a crisp and lively response, and that allows me to hit my deceptive drop shots and crafty angles with confidence and ease. I absolutely love the dwell time of this combination as it lets me redirect the ball with pinpoint accuracy. The ball sits on the string bed, and the vibrations I feel in my hand and arm give me so much confidence and control that I feel I can aim for small targets even during an intense rally. The crisp pop sensation is super satisfying on full swings too. When I strike a return clean, the ball goes exactly where I'm aiming, and that allows me to approach the net or step in for a short ball which fits my offensive playstyle. The drastic contrast between my aggressive ball striking and my delicate touch shots at net is what I like to use to throw my opponents off, and the best thing about this hybrid is that I felt I could hit every shot in my arsenal from any position on the court. The crisp feel is especially helpful when I try to hit sharp angles. The spin coupled with the feel allows me to hit short angles that pull my opponents really far off the court, and I can also drop angle volleys that run parallel to the net that my opponent has no chance to get. Those don't come often, but I feel I can confidently hit them if my opponent gives me the right shot. Another thing I really like about this combo is the level of control I can get. The control from this setup is different from what most people would consider a control string. From what I hear, a lot of aggressive baseliners like a really muted and dead string that allows them to bash the ball as hard as they can. These hedge strings provide good control more from the dwell time, spin, and response than a muted feel. For me, the dwell time allows me to swing the ball left and right like a slingshot, and I feel I can aim for any target on the court due to that pocketing. The strings did loosen up a bit after the first session, but that only made the dwell time better and really opened up my aggressive game. I never felt like I would sail the ball long on aggressive ground strokes with this setup because the spin always brought the ball back down. Speaking of spin, that is another pro that I found with this setup. I felt the spin potential with this hybrid was better than a full bed of either of these strings by itself. This is due to the extra string movement I was getting from the Lynx Tour mains sliding on the smooth, round Hawk Power crosses. My kick serves were bouncing high and out of my opponent's strike zone consistently, and I never felt I had to overexert my pronation to get kick. My topspin forehands never had any control issues, and I never felt I would sail the ball long on a clean contact. I could really feel the ball sitting on the string bed on slices, and I could keep slices low and bouncing sideways. This hybrid setup also maintained its tension and snapback well into the playtest, and I never felt the string bed become erratic or unpredictable. The Lynx Tour and Hawk Power are two of the better tension holding strings I've tried recently. There is initial tension drop, but it stabilizes at a tension pretty close to when it was fresh, and it was very easy to adjust. With the full bed of Lynx Tour, I could feel spin potential on my kick serves drop after a few play sessions because the crosses started to dig into the mains and the coating wears out. The Hawk Power in the cross has a slick coating that keeps the string movement and snapback constant even after countless swings. Lastly, this combination of Lynx Tour and Hawk Power also provides a decent amount of pop and power. My flat serves, two-handed backhand, and punch volleys penetrated the court without decelerating much, and I could punish short balls and hit through my opponents. I get many comments saying the Lynx Tour is stiff and powerless, but I personally don't feel that way. The dwell time leads to a decent amount of trampoline effect, and I can generate a decent amount of power with a full bed. The Hawk Power is a bit softer and adds a bit of comfort to this setup, but more importantly, it adds a small boost in power that is always a welcome addition. Overall, this is an affordable poly-poly hybrid combination that provides a perfect balance of power, crisp feel, spin, and control, and at the time of writing, it is possibly my favorite poly hybrid setup. Now let's briefly touch on the cons of the Lynx Tour and Hawk Power hybrid. There really isn't much, and for me, I didn't find any issues, but some may find this setup to be a bit too stiff for them. The Hawk Power adds a bit of comfort, but even that in a full bed is not a soft arm-friendly poly, so if you have arm problems, I wouldn't recommend this setup. But I like stiff strings because it gives me the direct feedback in my arm, so this wasn't an issue. Comfort is pretty low on my priorities when judging a string anyway. And lastly, this isn't a con per se, but the black Lynx Tour is noticeably more muted than other colors, so if I were to use this setup again, which I definitely will, I would try it with the silver or champagne, which play more crisp and responsive. So, who is this hybrid for? Lynx Tour and Hawk Power are great strings on their own, so Lynx Tour players who are looking for a bit more spin and consistency might want to try pair it with the Hawk Power in the mains. This string is for players who value responsiveness, dwell time, spin, and control, and aggressive players with an all-court game will benefit the most from a setup like this. So as of now, this setup is currently in my top 2 of poly-poly hybrids. The only other competition at the moment is the hybrid of Ytech's Quadro Twist in the mains and Yonex's Polytour Fire in the crosses. That setup gets arguably a bit more spin and power, but the head hybrid edges it out in feel and consistent launch. The Wide-Tex Yonex hybrid will be a little softer though. So now let me hear from you guys in the comments what you guys think of this hybrid. A handful of viewers commented about this hybrid, and that is the reason I decided to give this setup a try, and boy am I glad I did. So let me hear your opinions. What are some of your favorite hybrid setups? And also I'm curious to know anyone's thoughts on the orange Lynx Tour since I've never tried it. Is it worth trying? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys on the next review. Thank you for watching this hybrid experiment string review of the Head Lynx Tour and Head Hawk Power right here on OpenCourt. If you guys like this content, be sure to overhead smash that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on an OpenCourt.